Hey, what is going on, guys? In this video today, I'm going to bring you guys a very special gameplay. What you're watching today is a 29 kill solo match, which is currently the world record for kills in a solo match on Xbox. It's actually pretty crazy to think about this, but my first ever upload on my channel all the way back in April was actually a 25 kill solo match, which at the time was also the Xbox record. And now here we are almost exactly 6 months later, and it's all kind of come full circle with me breaking the record again with this 29 kill game. Now, one thing I want to clarify about this gameplay right off the bat, because I know there's going to be a ton of comments about it, are there a lot of quote-unquote bots in this gameplay? Yes, there definitely are. But that's going to be the case for really any 20 plus kill game you're ever going to see, and especially a world record game like this. Fortnite's a game where 99 players are going to die in about 15 minutes in an average game, which means that about 7 people die every minute of the entire game. And in a 29 kill game like this, you need to get a kill on average about every 30 seconds for 15 minutes straight. Therefore, you simply can't have more than 1 or 2 fights a game that takes more than maybe a minute or 2 to finish. Time is so precious in these games, and it may seem at times like I'm just killing horrible players, but the real skill in these super high kill games is taking advantage of the lobbies. And it really is a legitimate skill to know how to rotate correctly and what decisions to make to put yourself in a position to engage in as many fights as possible while also finishing those fights extremely quickly. And you're going to see that this gameplay really does go about as perfectly as you could hope for. I get off to a super fast start. I believe I leave tilted with 11 kills in about the first 3 to 4 minutes of the match. In the middle game, players died off relatively slowly, and more importantly, I was able to consistently find players in that middle part of the match. Usually in even my 20 plus kill gameplays, I have to cut at least 1 or 2 periods in the gameplay where it's just 3 to 4 minutes straight of running, finding nobody. I think in this gameplay though, the longest I go at any given time without seeing an enemy is like a minute or maybe even 45 seconds. And finally, pay attention to how quickly I'm able to get through almost every single fight in this video. I seriously don't think I spent more than maybe 30 seconds on a single fight in the entire gameplay. Now, I'm going to be honest, even though I had pretty much the perfect recipe for a crazy high kill game here, I'm not super confident that this record of 29 is going to stay for a very long period of time. I just mentioned how important rotating correctly and efficiently is for these types of world record games, and you're going to see, especially in the middle part of this gameplay, why over the past few days, so many kill records have been broken. The Xbox solo kills record, for example, was basically stuck at 27 for the last few months, but in just the last 48 hours or so, it was broken by a member of Team Vile who got 28 kills, and then a few hours later, I topped him by getting this 29 kill game. And then less than 24 hours after all of that, a PS4 player came along and set the new overall console solo kills record by getting a 30 kill solo game. And the reasoning for all of that craziness is basically what I briefly mentioned in my last video. With the new glider redeployment mechanics in Fortnite, as long as you have enough materials to build up high enough into the air, you can basically have unlimited launch pads whenever you want or need them. It just cuts down the travel time so much and also makes it much easier to find enemies throughout the entire duration of the match. I think it's also fair to say that the Fortnitemares game mode also played a part in setting this and all of the other recent records. What you're seeing a lot of players do now is spending considerable amounts of time during the match fighting cube monsters. And since so many players in a given game are doing that, it just in general slows down the amount of deaths, which is obviously great news for anybody going for a high kill game, and part of the reason you're seeing a new record being set like every 24 hours the way it's been recently. So now let's get into actually talking about the gameplay here. And after my incredibly hot start in tilted, tilted, I wasn't feeling too confident at this point that this gameplay was going to end up being something special. I mean, 13 kills in a solo match with 33 people left, that's usually looking like a game that's going to end up maybe, 22 or 23 kills, because in general, in this part of a solos game, people just start dying off really quickly, and you're in general not going to be able to find many players. Well, you're going to see this is what I discussed earlier in this video. This middle game went about perfectly for me. People just in general stopped dying unless it was literally to me, and I especially utilized this middle island on Loot Lake, as well as the new glider redeployment techniques I talked about also earlier in this video. So like you guys can see here, I'm rolling up into the most populated parts of the map. Dusty Divot is always going to be a hotspot because it's pretty much smack dab in the middle of the map, and I do a really nice job with AR aim, and another guy's over here, so I gotta make sure to also clean up this kill. That's something that's so important for these high kill solo games, as neither of those guys ended up building, which was really good. But you gotta make sure you are finishing literally every kill you see. If you let an enemy get away, or you let an enemy die to another enemy, that's one less kill that you can have. And 1 or 2 kills here or there is the difference between either setting a world record or just having a generally really high kill game. So you guys are about to start seeing here kind of that high kill game luck that I was talking about earlier, that you most certainly do need to get these world record games. I'm just sitting here posted up in Dusty Divot, and usually this middle part of game is like pulling teeth trying to find enemies, but for whatever reason in this game it was just so easy, especially right now. You're gonna see I end up killing this guy rather easily. He just tries to run away instead of building, and then lo and behold, out of nowhere, as soon as I walk out of this door, I find another enemy who immediately wants to fight me, and I'm able to clean up really quickly. Like, this stuff usually just doesn't happen in these solo games, especially when the circle's so big and there's so few people left. Again, I just built up. 20 seconds later, there's another guy just shooting at me, not building. Like I said, this game was literally the perfect recipe. And then we skip forward again like another 30 seconds. Really, nobody is dying out at this point of the game, which I definitely need because I'm actually going to end up killing 10 of the last 15 people alive. This was actually one of the competent players that I did go up against this game. He was able to get high ground on me a few times, but I think eventually I'm just able to like shoot out his high ground, or maybe I get over him. I don't know. You'll see here. But one thing I do want to discuss is kind of how unfortunate I got at the end of the game. You're going to notice a gamer tag in the feed. I'm not really sure what it is, and like, I don't blame the guy because he's just playing Fortnite, but I could have legitimately gotten maybe 31 or 32. There's a point, and I'll probably point it out in a few seconds when we get to it, where I have something like 23 kills with 10 enemies left. And when you're in a game like this one, when that end game circle with 10 enemies left is relatively large, that's where you can really shine in terms of kills. Honestly, in a game like this with 10 enemies left, I would usually expect to kill probably 7 or 8 of them, and honestly killing 9 or even all 10 of them is definitely not out of the question sometimes. So for me to only end up getting 6 out of those 10 enemies and going from 23 to 29 kills, like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm like disappointed by any means, because that's still really good, but just knowing what could have been. Let's say I did get 7 or 8 kills, well, now we're talking about 30 or 31 kills for the game, and instead of just having the Xbox record, well, now maybe we have the total console record, or even the all-time for any platform solos record. So, I don't want to like dwell on the past, but that part did kind of disappoint me, because the rest of this game pretty much went as perfect as possible up until that point. And you're gonna see here I kill this sweaty soccer skin guy, and right there, 10 enemies left, 23 kills, and then it instantly goes down to 9 enemies left. And as you see, we're gonna cut ahead here a little. This was actually one of those time periods where I think I went maybe 45 seconds or a minute without finding any enemies, but at this point in the gameplay, I'm still feeling really good. I got 23 kills with 9 enemies left, and I have 2 people right in front of me, and spoiler alert, I'm gonna end up getting both of these kills before anybody else in the match dies. So for a few seconds after I finish up this next guy that I'm fighting, there was a point where I was at 25 kills with 8 enemies left, and I think I even even said in stream at that point, like, I think this is gonna be a 30 kill game. But as you're gonna see, that's the gamer tag right there, Zane Ed. That guy ended up killing like 3 of the last 10 people, and that really screwed me. So like, again, like I said, I don't blame the guy at all because he's just playing Fortnite, but man, he doesn't know what he truly did because he ruined what could have legitimately been an all-time great game of Fortnite. But luckily, I got my revenge right there in the form of a hot 1 heavy to the head for, I believe, 185 damage to end his game and end any chance of him stealing any more of my kills. So now, as you're gonna see, we're at the point where I'm gonna kill all 3 of the final players in this game. It's gonna start right here by this guy I heard hiding in the bathroom, and he placed traps everywhere, so I did the neat little pyramid trick to get rid of it, and then gave him a taste of his own medicine by placing 2 traps, which he got stuck in and killed. And now the final 2 fights of this video, I believe, come in pretty rapid succession of each other. This first one is against one of those guys I was talking about earlier. Clearly not one of the best Fortnite players in the world, but he does have a rocket launcher, so I gotta be at least a little careful with him by building walls and ramps and stuff. But eventually he doesn't build at all, so I'm able to just like head glitch a ramp and a wall, and it's an easy finish. And then this next guy is doing, I'm not really sure what up there, and he runs out into the open and a few easy AR shots and it's over. So I hope you guys enjoyed this world record gameplay. Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.